Well, hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back. It is Climb Mount Narodnaya. Oh yes, the quest continues to climb to the peaks of greatness as we return now as Part 7 now unveils itself. We'll see exactly what happens. Hiroshima, the attack next. Let's go ahead and see what the forces are here. We have the 2nd Independent VDV Battalion and the VDV Recon Company versus the 2nd Tank, the 4th Helicopter, and the Narashino Regiment. Let's see here. There's some TOWs and AHSs in there, and we've got some severe lack of AA here. The tank battalions, again, have not arrived, and we're somewhat outnumbered and outgunned, it seems. But victory must prevail against the enemy. The most fearful thing here is the AH-1S or 1S, I believe. 32 tanks to deal with as well. We'll have to see if any other reinforcements can come to us. Since our successful battle there at Totoriri, I don't understand now why a pending battle we can't. I guess this force was used in a blocking maneuver, so we can't necessarily use those. But we can bring up our AA, which is nice. I would recommend. You know what, this is only, Naval Infantry School, or the Infantry Airborne, whatever, so we're going to go ahead and bring these up. The Anti-Aircraft Company, if I can, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, of course, we're locked into the battle. I always forget that. There we go. Alright, so that movement is ready. We cannot bring these forces down. I'm not sure as to why, but we can bring them in for reinforcements. However, I think we have to block at Masuda, actually, in order to have a full encirclement. Maybe that's what it's preventing. Maybe it's stopping us from from allowing troops to escape. I'm not sure. But anyway, regardless, it is time for the Battle of Hiroshima or Hiroshima. So let us go now with the next try here to see exactly what other forces we can muster. Anti-aircraft looking a little bit better now. We've got ourselves some Biryuses and OSAs with us, so that's going to be much better, especially against those TOWs, bros. Okay, let's start now. Launch battle. Alright, so it's been an interesting campaign so far. I think I've made some real big mistakes early on not using VDV airborne forces, but then again, maybe it was actually good because we didn't necessarily use those until just now when we've had some huge wins and massive enemy encirclements. So it might not be a bad thing after all. Here, what we're going to have to do is just what we did in the British campaign. I believe this is even the same map, yeah. We're going to have to hold it center to gain the points and then retreat to Tsuyama whenever we want to do callouts. But luckily, we have a big bolstering budget right now. Those are the 3 Bs. And so we can spend all of that on dealing with enemy forces right away. Conquerors and Conquerors M are available. One's 50 accuracy, so obviously I'm going to go with the... maybe we don't want the more accurate, actually. We would probably want the higher numbers, though, to deal with any tank forces that are going to drive at us. And we're really in the open space now, so the enemy's really going to have a tough time breaking through, especially here. The enemy could, of course, come around our flanks somewhat easily, but we're not going to allow that to happen. Anti-tank groups are plentiful this time around as well. Alright, recon is going to be important, as it always is. Luckily, we have some Redvetskas with us. The Dirty Reds. Alright, and Boris, Elena, and Yamaguchi are going to have to fall. We're going to have to win them over with either bombs or in... too bad we don't have any other aircraft that could support. We don't really have the option of that. But killing a lot of those aircraft is really where we're going to make our money. It's going to be our bread and butter. OSAs are ready to go. And we can formulate our attack over here as we start to build up troops to attack. This is just to hold back the tanks and helicopters. And as usual, you can imagine that the enemy's going to come right away at full speed, and hopefully we take a nice chunk out of them. I don't know if we'll have a victory here. I'm assuming no, but you never know. Alright, let us begin. 20 minutes. Go! Alright, everything's locked down. VDV are ready to go. We'll put them over here. This is going to be for a nice flank up the mountains into Yamaguchi. Too bad we weren't able to actually flank from there either. But I didn't want to move into this sector and allow the enemy to have a position on us. Alright, these beer uses are not as hidden as I had hoped. I always forget that you can click on them to instant cover as well. Alright, we're going to wait for an enemy attack. Robots are on front as well. Plenty of defenses. Alright. Now hopefully there's no flanking with large amounts of helicopters, though we do seem to be ready for it. We only have one infantry command here. Otherwise we would have called out more. Enemy command was, or enemy recon was spotted there a moment ago. Of course, the time that I add the most defense is the time that the enemy won't advance. OH-6D is out there, moving back now. They're running patrols. That's probably a tow. It is. $26.25 versus $26.25, so it'd be an even match with the Biryusa versus the tow, but I believe the tow would win on the first shot. Here comes the tanks. There we go. Run into the nearest cover. They're going to come right down the middle too. It's time for the Biryusas to back off. Strela too. It's going to be a weird situation here. We will need the support of our tanks in order to do this. We do have a come at me bro situation now, though. We have 391 points that we've gained. So we're going to back out of center and go back to Tsushima to do some call-outs. Looks like the tanks are finally here for their usual meeting with death. 40 points, 40 points. So that's going to be 160 points waiting for us there. Apparently this infantry didn't find it necessary to head into cover. We're off the front line. They are. Oh, look. Yeah, of course they're honing. They're honing in on our recon. Let's flee. Insta, as usual. They're building. It's very tense here now. There's a huge military buildup. Here comes the helicopters. Strela's 3 range is simply 2775. The enemy keeps doing this thing where they're like they're throwing fake punches. They build up, roll forward, stop, go back a little bit. It's like, what the hell? What the hell field is this? I believe this field makes brown. That is brown rice. I'm not sure. Alright, we do have our recon on the right side, though. So many tanks. There's not much we can do unless they attack. It's like they're thinking of ways to get around us. Oh, but of course they'll go for our recon because they know where it is. Even if they can't see it, of course they know where it is. Bastards. Alright, let's drop our forces off here. Alright, we've now activated. We have a huge amount of income now from all that waiting. Gonna send up the Conquerors like crazy, see if we can do some sort of an attack. Uses can come up as well. VDV need to come up. We're going to move up into the woods. Okay, these mobile conquerors can come up, and the OSAs can come up. 2,800 on the helicopters, so they do have a slight advantage over the tanks, I believe. Of course, we can't see their stats because they're like too far out of range. I don't know if that's a severe problem though, when we can identify what the tank is but can't look up the information. Nah, it's not good. Alright, OSAs are coming up to attack the recon and the tow. VDVs can sneak up. If they do, they're going to piss off the tanks though. We can try to start attacking though. Maybe we can lure and skewer. OSAs can move to the right. Shrelas can tuck it in. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a noose around this force here and try to just clobber it. OSAs are insta-fire. Or insta-killed, of course, by tow units. BS. What the hell kind of swerve was that? What the hell? One of them lost due to BS. Do you see this? Just refusing to engage that unit. What the hell was that? So Conquerors are now in critical dire straits now because of the failure of the OSAs. Lured it in close enough for the BRU, so hopefully the OSA can take it down. Wow, that was horrible. Absolutely unacceptable. Firing from that distance and like missiles swerving at the end like that. Oh, that's horrible. Conqueror's doing a great job there. Keeping these tanks at bay. Michael Bay. Alright. Bring up a couple of these grenading recons, the UAZ 469 Palmea, or however it is said. I don't actually, you know what? More beer uses would be great. We have no FOB. We have no we have no logistics vehicles. Just not going to be in our turn this, or in our favor this turn, I should say. The OH-6D does have a rocket pod on it as well. Strela's greatly out of range. In fact, they have to be right on top of the Razes in order to get that. Some damage to the Conquerors. Just trying to get close enough so that thing either backs off or alright, good. 30 points gained from that. Still not going to be enough, though. We just really need to be able to draw with the enemy here. I've kind of realized that the Battle of Hiroshima is not going to go so well unless we have all of our forces here. But we can try to take over territories in the meantime. And that would probably mean it would be best for us to go up to center with our command before the end of the battle. Don't mind that alarm. 'Tis nothing. So we have no air force to support us. We really didn't have anything for that. Tanks need to arrive here ASAP. Conquerors, not much they can do. The enemy is not attacking as they should. I didn't even see a force really building other than that one that we kind of dealt with rather easily, though, and took some losses on. No biggie, though. I always like to win on the first turn, but you know, our forces. So this is a good sign of us just being on the edge, the border of being too far stretched, too many forces in too many places, and not being condensed or grouped in a very concentrated attack, and so this is, I guess, somewhat good in situations. This is better than it could be. But of course, the best thing would be to have all of those tanks everywhere. But our tanks are ridiculously slow. They take multiple turns to get to where they need to go, and they're just not ideal. On the right side, looks like we've got some choppers moving up. Of course, insta miss and a command down though. Second miss. Third miss. Goodbye, Osas. Worthless. Oh wow. Okay. Well, they both. It was an even exchange, I guess. Ridiculous. I'm not particularly kind to those units now. The Osas, I mean, the accuracy was good. They just apparently weren't showing it today. Alright, the Razes are going to have to get up close. Spear uses are going to have to move up. Alright, Recon can move up. At least we've unsecured Boris from the enemy's hands. Though I'm sure there's a million tanks waiting for us somewhere. Let's go ahead and have these BTRs stop. VDV only lost one man on that assault on that vehicle. Yamaguchi is within sight now. We own more of the map than the enemy, so I mean that's better than nothing. So I'm going to try to capture Boris now in order to... basically my thought is that Tutsuyama will be ours by default next round, since we already kind of own that area. Oh, now maybe we've pissed off the tank gods. Indeed we have. Enemy finally formulating an assault. BTR-70s are here to transport troops. I'm glad we kept all of our Conquerors in the back, though. There really wasn't much we could do up front. That. Oh, wait a minute, Beery. I didn't know those Beeries were so close. Barry, no. Don't do it, Barry. Alright, well, we'll keep in the town. This is the most progress I think we'll make. Unless we sneak our VDV into Elena and destroy a command. Highly unlikely. Oh, we're getting flanked. Son of a bitch. Look at that. There he is. Waited for us to bring up our command. Speaking of commands. Every missile going towards that. VDV are ready. And our only command was crushed there on the road. That's unfortunate. Having to move out of that area now. A real shame. Alright, well, let's see what we can do then. We're going to have to end the turn. Very disappointed by that, as you can tell. Was really looking forward to a good victory there. Or at least a draw, but our command was hit by those tanks coming in from the flank. Okay, we'll end the turn here and see what's up next. We'll have a larger amount of income. The enemy, of course, now attacking us at the area of Yamaguchi with a large amount of vehicles. Let's see, 24 support, 8 Super Cobras, and Japanese infantry 40 plus. We have no AA. We can move, rather than taking any losses there. They didn't seem to fear us too much. So we can go ahead and avoid the battle and retreat to Masuda. Now is where it gets interesting. Alright, and then they want to battle us at Hiroshima again. 2 Tunguska, T-72A, T-72B1. Now it's time to take revenge, bitch. Who yo daddy gonna be? Gonna be me. Alright, very disappointed that we did lose that area, but at least they've decided to counterattack, so we can now conquer the area in one small attack. So what we can do is we can roll back to center, but we're going to have to capture the rear in order to have those extra forces we needed. Tunguska are absolutely critical, and there's plenty of infantry to boot around here, but we don't get any. Enemy infantry, that is, will be plentiful. We do have our recon element here, and we do have two Tunguska, so that's great. Put our fob right behind the town. Keep in mind the enemy's going to have a massive amount of tanks. This is just going to have to be the escort for the BMP 1K. Actually, we're going to need more of those. We're going to need one to stay. One to go back to center and be escorted. Probably by a Tunga. A Tunga. All right, that should be good. Okay, so we're gonna make them our we're gonna make them our bitch now. Here we go. Now we're gonna fall back to center for extra income, and then go all the way back for extra, not income, but for call out next. No recon. We'll keep our tongue close. Keep that tongue close. Tunguska's following the BMP 1K. It's a real shame we lost all those units, but yeah. So this is where it gets interesting, because it's really going to come down to closing the door on the enemy and building up like a communist state for a while, which basically means when the entire peninsula is red, we're going to have to build up for a few turns to make sure it stays that way, stop enemy counterattacks, and also attack that main island. Where Kill Bill's from. Yes, it's a joke. Relax. I know exactly what it's for. They call that Mount Suribachi. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so, Tusayama is where we're going to have to go next. Looks like the... Oh, look at that. Son of a bitch. No, you don't. Look at the computer just gets to drive by. Out of range. We're going all the way. We're going to RTB, actually, to Tusayama with these forces. That damn CV. Where the hell is he going? Alright, from here we can bring in supplies. We're getting a lot of good income. This is a ridiculous wild goose chase. We'll have our tongue stop in the middle of the town. Give coverage to both sides. This is interesting. This is where the remaining turns are going to go to, and I'm sure there'll be naval combat in the future, and we've almost got the entirety of that peninsula. I'm very excited, but rather annoyed at this one command here at Boris, wherever he went. He actually may be moving to center since it's free, which would be comical. I'm going to actually send that T-72 back to make sure that doesn't happen. Let's just go ahead and end up right there. Alright, T-72As don't see anything. It's going to be a back attack again. 125 millimeters on that T-72. That's huge. It's a big gun, so long as it hits. 35% accuracy, by the way, on the T-72A. Tunguska's also has several impressive weapons, including the twin 2A38M. It's a 30mm radar-guided autocannon, two of them. And the 9M311 AOE-guided Scalos ×8. Oh, hello, Command. I saw you. And hello, moderately impressive Japanese attack of crappiness. Alright, let us roll. Let us roll. Hello, Command. Let's cancel that 3 call-in. Let's wait until we can get one more. Recon's going to be important here, though it's in the best form of that. T-72As are starting to bro down. Just go ahead and stop. So we have 55 point T-72As versus 40 points Japanese tanks. Oh, wow. It's actually a bigger battle than we thought. 3 T-72As on the right are going to have to come up. We outnumber them by 1 tank, but they outnumber us for the start of the battle here. We're going to have to hope our frontal armor holds. This is something that we haven't seen in a while. A actually decent tank battle. Alright. It's 5-4 now. 5 versus 4. Japanese still outnumber us. Several hits to the front of our vehicles. 2 panicked, 2 shaken. Front to the front now. Fresh T-72s have arrived to take out those forces on the right that are panicked. We're going to hold the line, though. We now outnumber them. Make sure we don't get hit in the flank there. Risky to put that unit over there. T-72As are moving up to engage, and we're done there. Alright. So Elena and Yamaguchi remain. We're going to have to return back to the FOB for some supplies with these groups. Interesting battle indeed. So for those of you watching, have any of you ever piloted any Soviet weaponry, and if so, what, when, why, and where? T-72As, is anyone there from Russia who's the driver or commander of a Tunguska? Let us know and tell us what you think of the vehicle and how long you've been serving, that kind of stuff. Tell some interesting stuff, or maybe just someone tell an interesting story about a new type of Tunguska coming out, or what its capabilities are, or T-72, whatever you'd like. But pretty much we're working with the Tunguska and the T-72s at this moment. K1 coming up now. I'm going to leave this Tunguska in the rear. I would feel like a fool if I didn't actually bring it up, or if I didn't leave it back before the battle. The other Tunguska, by the way, the range on that is 2,800, so hopefully, and by the way, the accuracy is 55%, so let's hope we do a good job. Low fuel here for some of these T-72s. We're not going to get all the time in the world to set up like we'd like. 13 minutes left. We have to attack before 8. Before 8 minutes left. I'm just throwing that out there. It's what my thoughts and feelings and opinions are. We'll see if it's right. We'll have to see. T-72B1, by the way. Very good killer. Very incredible frontal armor, too, by the way. 15 versus 13. 8 on the sides, 4 on the back. That too, could be a huge difference, not to mention the 45% accuracy and the BOP to 30% stabilizer and 18 AP power. We need numbers here. That's what we're going for. T-72s have arrived. It's time to do a big push now into Elena up the canal to Yamaguchi. We need to nearly simultaneously kill these commands, and the enemy has not even attempted to flank, which is good. We have 3 T-72s that are calm. These units take a long time to calm down when they're... Alright, time to battle again. We will not win in a tank battle alone. We can definitely crush their tank armies, but we need more than that going for us. Gonna pull that command back a little bit. These are the Shiki A's, or E's. These are the better units. Target that first one. Get him off the line. Beautiful. Next is the oh wow, do they outrange us? 2100. Ooh boy, they do. Alright, we're gonna have to get extra forces here right away. Luckily, I'm sure we have better armor. That we do. 6 versus 13, so survivability is incredible on these T-72s. At least in a burrow down, where they're facing each other. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, this is the battle that we all wish... This was like European escalation right here. Just line and line and lines of tanks. An incredible sight to behold back in the day. Terrain was not as impressive as this, though. 11 minutes left. The attack's almost ready to begin. Bigger loss to their tank corps. Now the rest of those tanks I called in are going to have to be on flank defense. I'm not going to get hit in the ass by a T-72, or by the T-72s will have to guard that area on the right. BRDM is perfect for that, and we've got our BRM-1K moving up for recon duties with the tanks. So just replenishing ammunition and armor. Oh yeah, here we go. Continuing on. Already out on those units. Keeping the T-72As functional is a huge duty, and it falls to the MTP LBs to do so. Now it's going to get exciting. The attack will finally begin. I will call up to... oh boy. Oh shit. And it's 4 of those bastards. Let's not do that. Let's reverse. One destroyed. Insta on the Tunguska, goodbye. Shit. I knew it would get interesting, and it's funny that they didn't even start the attack with that either. They shouldn't be able to see anything. We are in town. So the intent, of course, was to hold the area and use in conjunction those other forces. T-72As are down. We're going to have to wait for that Tunguska to get here, or attack like the Japanese now. With our machine guns. So real shame on that insta-kill on that Tunguska. Really, I wish that unit... It'd be cool if that thing could fire to ATGMs. At least these helicopters will be out of the way now. The enemy was really stupid with them. And we'll get some veterancy out of these tanks that we normally otherwise would not get. Wow, that was really that was dumb on my part to Tunguska's coming up here finally. Hopefully that is the end of those helicopters. Alright, time to rearm. And we'll regroup with this other one. Not a total loss, losing maybe a couple there. Wonder what's on the right flank. We could actually just cut them off at Yamaguchi. Maybe even bring in a command there. Helicopters ruining all my tank fun. God, just like European, I mean, just like World in Conflict all over again. Alright, so yeah, I'm not too confident with my movements, but I really do hate when I feel like I've got a door open here, and then of course it always, something always happens. It's never perfect. Ellen is not going to be easy to attack with that bridge crossing there like that. Probably infantry up the ass in Elena. But of course, if we had a million 10-point tanks, that would make things a lot easier, wouldn't it? Though we don't have that luxury, so we'll have to make do. Tunguska just arriving, by the way. And nearly out of fuel. Alright, I'm going to stop here, not push forward any further. Recon's arrived as well. I had him hidden from those helicopters, so we'll be using him now. 6 minutes left. It's going to end in a draw unless some sort of Hail Mary ATGMs come in on all of our tanks. It's a shame that we can't start with all these units deployed where they are next time. We have to start within the confines of the command zone. Alright, 6 minutes left. attack had to start before the 8, so I don't think we're going to get that. Eerily quiet here on the right side. They're low on fuel. We'll meet up there. Alright, additional T-72s are coming up. Be on the lookout now for enemy helicopters. Tanks making their crossing. I'm hoping these huge numbers make them invincible, especially with their frontal armor and such, even if the Japanese are in there with infantry, which you can bet they are somewhere. They're going to be gone soon. T-72A has been detracked there for 20 minutes. Jeez. That unit's not going to make it without fuel. Alright, well, by the time these arrive, the attack will have to begin at Yamaguchi. I hope that is the end of those helicopters. Another weird technical... I guess it's a revenge for them getting that Hail Mary kill on that command, though it was kind of not intelligent, and or rather, as some people would call, dumb of me to do that. But, of course, you know, nobody's ever beaten any of these campaigns without taking a tank loss or an aircraft or an infantry, I dare you. I wish, though. That would be cool. Alright, let's get refueled here, and then we'll move up with the tanks. Hopefully we can do something before the end of 4 minutes. T-72As are on the way. I don't know if we're going to... we had to attack much earlier, I think, in order for this to be successful. Command there is spotted, and that's gone. Alright, we're going to have to do a big meet-up here at this intersection. We'll attack left and right after the units are refueled. Got our T-72K1 coming up. Hopefully we can capture... Let's capture Elena with that. Hopefully he arrives there before 3 minutes. He's got half a tank left. BRM-1K. We needed extra time, I think. We really needed that extra time. We have to move all together now. Forces on the left should be good to go. You know what, let's just roll. We can go in. We just gotta go. Time to go. These units need fuel, of course. Tunguska can stay next to the supply, and the BRM will try to find the infantry wherever they may be hiding. Interesting, this tank combat, isn't it? Cargo out in the open means there's infantry somewhere over here. Likely in the town. BRM-1K can move up to a safe place. Fob there. Be nice to capture that. We actually can if we go around this town. Interesting. Nothing sighted. Command, rather supply trucks over here. Quite a bit of them. Okay, we're going to go in to try to cap those. T-72s are going to have to flush them out then. 2 minutes left. We'll go around the flanks and go through the forest. That's where they're going to be. Commands are our, cargoes are ours. FOB is ours. Enemy retreated, I suppose. Okay, that was interesting. Opponent surrendered. Fantastic. Wow. Amazing. I see that you are controlling 3 airfields. This is necessary to ensure victory, but you must follow up and secure more air bases. Roger that. Alright, so we finally have the air bases we've dreamed of. That's right, our hopes and dreams, aspirations, and yeah, have come true. Finally. So we had to retreat from Yamaguchi. We've got some tanks ready to bro down against the U.S. helicopters and such. That'll work, Raptor. Speaking of helicopters, too, we've got some infantry school attacking here. So we'll do some moves here, I think, in the next time when I have a fresh mind. So that's it for now. Until next time, you guys keep your passwords and pin pan strong. I will see you guys. Take care. Bye.